This game's not won on social media. This game's not won on telephones. This game is won with shoulder pads, helmets, mouth guards, and sweat. That's how the game is won.
Welcome to week 9 of the Bill Neese's Coaches Show, which is actually episode 6. With me now is our head coach, Bill Neese, brought to you by Dick Lumpkin's Auto Body. Indians go on the road to Stebbins, get a nice big win by the score of 30-6. Actually gets to a running clock, which was the first time this year we've been in that situation. Actually, when it happened, Coach, I thought, boy, it's been a little bit since we've been in there, and it was, and from a good sportsmanship perspective, it was a good feeling to be in that spot.
It was, and it's just nice back before they had the clock. If you had a little bit of a lead, the good part of that is you get through, you get things rolling. The bad part is a lot of people don't realize it's very hard to get your JVs in because the thing goes so fast, and for the most part, with the running clock, there's a lot of teams that keep their starters in, and I don't have a problem with that, and because it's such a shortened down version, and you really don't get an opportunity to get those younger guys in, but they have their chances on Saturdays.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the game in itself. It was an interesting game, as we talked. The final score of 30-6. Let's say this before we even talk about it. Stebbins, we were up 30-0. They didn't quit. They kept on fighting, and they kept playing all the way in, which you would expect from that group and that coaching staff. Yeah,
those were the last words that came out of my mouth at halftime. And also, we saw, up close, one of their games against, it was against Vandalia Butler, actually, and they came down, scored a bomb, onside kicked, got it. 2 plays later, went deep again, second time, and in the span of a minute and 30 seconds scored 2 touchdowns and were right in the game. So, we knew that it was going to be a tale of 2 halves. We were very fortunate that we had a goal line stand. We're very fortunate that they fumbled the ball the first play of the game, because I don't know if that was a takeover necessarily. I think that was more of a giveaway on their part, kind of bounced off the guy's chest. But we played very good goal line defense, and then we stopped them second time, had a goal line interception. So I thought our players played well. They gave up a couple big plays, but I think when it came right down to that goal line there, they were not going to let them cross.
Well, as you said, you talk about takeaways. They had 5 turnovers. Some of those were on their end where they just kind of bounced up the wrong way, but some of it was just on our end where we really had some interceptions. We turned it and we turned the momentum for us, and we used it to our advantage. Yeah,
I think it was, in my estimation, was 4-2 in terms of takeaways and giveaways. I think we took the ball 4 times. I think they gave it 2 times, but you don't give it back.
Coach, one of the things you said goal line stand, and I wanted to talk about this today because I feel like there's been 3 straight weeks when I think of the Xenia game, I think of the Fairborn game, and I think of the Stebbins game, where we had goal line stands and key points in the game. Let's go back to Friday night when we were playing Stebbins. They turn it over. We were unable to score. They take the momentum and they march down the field, and their offense was clicking. And they had, as you talked about last week, their quarterback and running back have a good combination. And we get into the goal line, and they are in the red zone, ready to score. And our defense comes up with big play, and that, I believe, really switched the momentum again.
It totally did. And I think there was 2 big momentum situations. I think that one was, and boy, I don't know how it felt anybody else, but it felt like they ran like 20 plays inside the 10-yard line. And that was one. And then number two, right before the half, they were kind of, the quarterback was just scrambling, out of the pocket. And we had a broken coverage. And, it's hard to maintain your coverage when a guy gets out. When we had broken coverage and they hit us on a crossing route, and that guy was heading to the goal line there was 4 seconds left on the clock. He's heading for the goal line, and he got tackled literally on the 1-foot-yard line, and the half was over. And that was very frustrating for them and very obviously invigorating for us that we were able to get that stop right before the half and go in knowing that we're going to get the opportunity to stop them, get a 3-and-out, and then go down and score.
Glad you brought that up, because when I think about that play, because I'm thinking if they score, that obviously gives them momentum going into the half, and they've got points on the board. For us to get that stop, that was really big, because they had a lot of momentum. They were moving the ball pretty well. At
that particular time they were, and they were kind of back and forth, and for that drive they were. And our safety, I got to give credit to our safety, Isaiah Rios. He came across and made that tackle, made an unbelievable open field tackle, and he was our Bomb Award winner this week. And for those that don't know or have not heard what the Bomb Award is, it's our award that we give named after John Apple, former assistant coach, and we give it for our big hit that we have on a weekly basis. Whoever has a big hit, sometimes there are 2, sometimes there's 3, and for that particular case, obviously Rios was going to get a Bomb Award for that one. We appreciated that hit.
Well, we've talked a lot about our defense in this game, and you can certainly break that down into a goal line, our secondary, our defensive line, but we haven't talked a lot about offense. We put some points on the board. We put some pressure on them. We had some good quarterback passes from Chris Davis, our quarterback, to Rashawn Garrett, but we also had some other runs. Debo got loose. We had some things going our way that really, you saw our offense in a different position that we hadn't seen in a while.
Definitely, and we had Ray stretching the field pretty well, and Chris had some really good vision, and we've got Cohen Brown back this week, who's our other starting receiver. He's been out. We had a good group of sophomores that were filling in for him, but I think he with him coming back, and then also we got Jay Hancock playing out there too. He's been helping us out at wide receiver. We've got some pretty good looks at wide receiver, and the thing with Debo is it's going to be a 0, it's going to be a 5, and then the next thing you know, he's gone. And he has just got that in his mindset right now that he's going to keep pushing. He knows something's going to break, and he's probably most dangerous when he's been stopped twice, because he knows that third one. He knows that thing's coming up. That wheel. Oh, yeah. You keep turning that roulette wheel, and eventually your number's going to come up.
One of the, Coach, I'm going back a couple years ago when we talked about FBI and football intelligence and those things, and you can tell we're growing that FBI with this young group, particularly the quarterback. Chris Davis had some nice throws as we discussed. The one though, let's talk about the interception. I know that's a turnover; it's not necessarily a good thing, but it was a third and long situation, and if we didn't get the first down, we're going to have to punt. Maybe even a better situation where they get the interception and we get them deep in their territory and force them in a bad situation.
It is. It happened good for us because there was no return after it. The only bad part is sometimes when you get intercepted, you've got 5 offensive linemen that are on the field attempting to go tackle the guy with the ball.
Right.
You've got one guy on the field that's mad because he threw an interception, so that's 6, and you got the guy he was throwing it to, which is somewhere behind where everything's gone, chasing everything, that's 7. So in an interception type situation, sometimes you only got 4 guys that are, that are going to hopefully help you make the play. So
it worked out, and not that we always want to do that.
No,
but,
I'd rather not.
It was a good situation where we were able to put that in there. Coach, here we are now. We get ready and to move forward. We get ready for week 9. We always kind of talked about in the years past, week 6, 7, 8 is grind, and then 9, 10, you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel that the season is, the regular season, shall we say, is starting to come to an end, and you're playing for things. Here we are, week 9. The only thing that matters as we talk about is week 9, not week 10, but week 9, it's the Butler Aviators. What's interesting historically, Coach, you and I have had this conversation for many, many years. The history between Butler and Piqua runs deep. There's always the games with Troy and Sydney. We can talk about that one. But Butler, there's been many years of great games with game implications for league and/or playoff.
Yeah, I think so.
It's kind of interesting. We kind of looked at the schedule here, week 9, in 2025. Here we are again.
Yeah, and we've had a great history with those guys in terms of some big names that have played in this game. At one point, in 2000, 1999, 2000, they had 6 full scholarship players, 6 Division I players on their team. They had 2 guys that eventually played in the NFL. And we had a couple guys. Obviously, Quinn was on that team and played in the NFL. But there was a bevy of talent, that was running around those fields, during that golden era and stuff. And they've got great players. Again, they always come up with great players. And the unique thing with them is they now have one of their former players who's now their coach, and they're embracing a lot of the same things they did back, when they were playing. And it's neat to see that, and it's neat to see how proud they are of some of the things they did back when they were playing.
Well, Coach, this game is big for a lot of reasons. One thing it's a league game, and we take these league games extremely serious. As you said, it's a game by game. Let's talk a little bit about the Butler Aviators and what we'll see from them when they come in Alexander Stadium.
Well, starting with their defense, they've got an outstanding defense. They've got 3 all-league players that are in that defense. They've got a very mobile defensive line. Guys that really pressure hard. Their inside linebacker's been an all-league player for the last couple of years, and their secondary is sound. They always play very good, behind their line. So their defense is one of the top-ranked defenses in our league for a reason, and not many people are scoring a lot of points on them. They run to the football. They get after it pretty hard on defense.
Yeah, one of the things that you've seen defensively is they've given some people some fits.
Yeah, they definitely. And on the offensive side of the ball, they again have some great weapons. They have a couple of receivers that are amongst the leaders and in receptions, points, things along those lines. They're not going to have that one running back that's just going to blow things open, every single time. They have him, but it's back and forth between one, and they do a lot of alternating. But when they get that guy in there, he's outstanding, unbelievable. And quarterback does a great job of just running the show. He's completing right around 60% of his passes, and gets them in good situations. Does smart things for them. So their offense is a very sound offense. Their offensive line, they all look about the same. They're all Tony Gardner type bodies. Big guys, big legs, and they move people out.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed, generally speaking, when you look, they don't make a lot of mistakes, and they're very well coached. They're fundamentally sound. So we're going to see a team that's going to come in, as you mentioned, athletic, knowing how to play, and they're going to come in here motivated, ready to play.
Exactly, and we will match that motivation, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, look forward to that. Speaking of motivation, let's talk about our special teams, and that has been a big part of our success this year. Senior Gavin Larger. We're going to talk to him a little bit later, but talk a little bit about Gavin and what he has meant, because here's a guy that's playing 2 sports. He's in the middle of a soccer season, yet he's still kicking for us, and it seemed to work pretty well for us.
Oh, he must be one of the most organized people around, because he knows where he's supposed to be. And we've scheduled our schedule around when he's here, when he's not here. We try to coordinate when he's with the we have a specific special teams practice, and then when our offense gets our team offense, we like to have him in that situation. And he has just been amazing. He lifts weights. He's in my weightlifting class. He's in that. He has built himself up to an outstanding soccer player. He's one of the top kickers, I believe, in our league. He's almost 50% getting the ball in the end zone. He's almost 100% with the extra points, and we can't be any prouder of him. And the other thing that he does well is he can simulate other teams' kickers better than anybody that I've seen in a long time. Meaning, a lot of the teams, they'll pop up over here, or they're going to squib over here, or they're going to kick the ball out of the end zone, and he's able to do all that. So he really helps us
Helps you in
prepare.
preparation.
Yeah, definitely.
Coach, one of the things he got to do Friday night was he put the first 3 points on the board. I heard you call a field goal. I don't hear that a lot from Coach Neese on the sideline, and you called for it, and he answered.
Yeah, very rarely, and I've heard that from a number of our kickers in the past, but very rarely do we use that opportunity, because normally if it's a 4th and 5, we think we can get it, and it was a little bit more than that, and we just felt like we had worked that hard. Let's get something on the board before anything else happens.
And certainly gave us momentum as we move forward. So we certainly
definitely.
Yeah, Coach, all the best. Friday night it will be senior night here, final regular season home game here at Alexander Stadium. All the best.
Thank you.
We're going to come back. We're going to talk to Gavin Larger. We're going to talk a little about kicking. What's it like being football and soccer when we return?
Welcome to part 2 of the Bill Neese's Coaches Show, the players portion. I'm going to have our guest introduce his name and the position he plays.
I'm Gavin Larger, and I'm the kicker.
Gavin, this is your second year as a kicker, but you've got a little bit of a unique situation, similar to your predecessor and Josh Heath.
Yeah.
You play 2 sports. You play a kicker on the football team, but you're also on the soccer team. How has that been for you to be able to balance both of those?
I mean, it's like really fun. I love both the sports and playing both of them, but it's very hard sometimes, because I get off of football and I immediately go to soccer. So
Now you got to be. I think Coach talked about this yesterday. You got to be highly organized.
yeah.
And you're obviously in that spot. Talk a little about how did you get into football?
I mean, I've always, in my backyard, I've always like kicking footballs around. My neighbor was really into it. He was like, you gotta go out, try out for the football team, or see if you can kick a ball. So I finally went and talked to him, and then I just love kicking.
Josh Heath, who we talked about before, did that kind of inspire you a little bit?
Yeah, I did a little bit, because he kind of showed me that you can play both sports, soccer and football.
Now, soccer team, not that we're going to make this as a football coach show, but we got to talk a little about the soccer team. Soccer team's had a really good year.
Yeah.
And we are on the verge of, I think we've won 9 games. And Saturday night is our first sectional tournament game. We have an opportunity to host. If you want to see Gavin, you can see him Friday night at Alexander. And then Saturday night, you can see him at Wirtz. That's right. You're going to kick at 7 o'clock. Belmont comes to town for a sectional game. Football-wise, let's talk a little bit about the football piece. What is different in your mind between not just the sport itself, but what in terms of environment and you're playing in a smaller crowd, whereas you're playing a bigger crowd. The players are a little different, but what do you see as a big difference between soccer and football for you?
Definitely like soccer. It's like you can make more mistakes. I'm not fair to say I don't really know, but it's like you don't have as much pressure. I feel like than being like a kicker. There's so many fans and stuff that you have like a lot of pressure and you mess up and you gotta overcome it. But
right, for us, you look at it. You get your first field goal the other night.
yeah,
You get us on the board. And I said this to Coach yesterday. He doesn't call for the field goal unit a lot.
No.
And here he was in a situation. Were you ready when he said that? What was going through your mind? Were you thinking, hey, is it possible I could kick in here? Or were you?
Well, I'm always thinking about it. It's always in the back of my mind, but it just like surprises me because we haven't kicked one all year. So now it's like I was ready for that.
Yeah, you were ready, and you put it through. And as I said, put the first 3 points on the board and got us rolling. So going into the game Friday night. As we go into these games deeper in the season, obviously there's a lot of meaning to these games. You had mentioned to me, and I don't want to take away, I'll let you tell me, but what is your plans a little bit after college?
I mean, I would like to go somewhere to play football and study biomedical sciences.
Oh, smart guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, Gavin, we certainly wish you all the best. Certainly beyond high school, but certainly wish you all the best this week, as it's a big week for you. Friday night, big game, with big league implications. with Butler, and then tournament game on Saturday night in a different uniform for soccer. So all the best to you.
Thank you.
And you can catch the Butler game here on the Indian Nation station. You can catch it on demand. You can also hear the game on WPTW. Big game on Friday night. Keep in mind, kickoff again is at 7 o'clock. It's senior night. We'll be honoring our seniors starting at 6:20 with our sports med seniors, our cheerleaders, and of course, our football players. For Gavin Larger, I'm your host, Chip Hare. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next week. Remember those 3 important words. Say it with me. We are Pickle.